Future generations will be told about the Lord. They will proclaim his righteousness to a people yet unborn. The way we reach the nations around this planet is by preparing our kids and equipping our kids, every generation, every emerging generation, spending money, buildings, lands.
Ten months ago, we set out as a church to raise $30 million to build a brand new multi-use facility for our private school, Springs Christian Academy in Winnipeg. Currently, SCA is bursting at the seams. Enrollment is at an all-time high. The waiting list is the longest it's ever been. And in 2 years' time, we know we will outgrow our current facilities. That's why we're acting now. That's why we're building the future. Boasting over 135,000 square feet, this new campus will be a one-of-a-kind destination. With cutting-edge science and arts classrooms, gorgeous common areas, and a triple-wide gymnasium, SCA will have the room and resources to continue to provide students with a top-tier education. But this new building won't just be used by the school. It will become a future hub for the kids, sports, college, youth, and young adults programs of Springs Church, with the ability to host large-scale events. This building is so much more than a physical structure. It's a spiritual stake in the ground, a very real way to continue our mission of making disciples. By creating more space for young people and their families, we will be more effective in reaching the next generation for Christ. Since breaking ground in May, we've completed 50% of the foundation work and roughed in sewer and water to the building. There's still more to do, but we're excited to watch as the building takes shape, leading up to its grand opening in September 2026.
Hey everybody, Joel here, and I'm with John Kessler, our lead project manager on all things Build the Future. John, we are here in the new building. Where are we standing right now?
So we're in the corridor between the link over here to my right, walking through the hallway, and behind us is the main hallway, which you can really start seeing the shape of it with leading to all the different classrooms down here.
Now, John, since the last time that we updated the congregation, can you share with us what has happened on site? What are some of the changes that we've seen?
Yeah, it's been 4 weeks since we last gave an update, and lots of stuff is starting to take shape. If you've been watching, we've got a lot of steel behind us, as you can see. So this is a lot of the main floor steel that's been erected behind us here. We've done the main floor hollow core, which is your concrete base for the main floor to sit on. We've started work on the second floor steel as well in this first phase of the building over here. So that's about 13,000 square feet of steel and hollow core that we've laid out in the building. We've finished doing the walls in the basement. We've finished doing the stairwell supports in the basement. And now we're moving off into the west wing of the building as well.
Probably see in the background, we got the crane there. That's added something new to our skyline, hasn't it?
Yeah, 130-foot crane. It's been kind of fun seeing that on site and moving all the hollow core and steel around here on site.
Now, John, the weather's been pretty amazing. How's that factored in with the construction of the...
Weather has been amazing. We've just been really, like last video, I said we're really taking advantage, and we have for the last month. The crews have just been working a lot of extra overtime, just getting things done really quick. So we've moved ahead. We're ahead of schedule on some of the concrete pours. We're ahead of schedule on grate beams. We're ahead on some of the hollow core already. And as far as our timeline goes, we're moving really good and taking good advantage of it.
John, you were sharing with some of us in a meeting regarding the campaign, and you were saying how some of the inspections and some of the crews that, like some of the work that's being done is just top notch. You want to share a bit more about that?
For sure, yeah. No, it's been incredible. All of our trades on site are just the best of the best, and we're seeing so much favor. We've had some of our city inspections already, and we're building a great rapport. The city, even when they were here, they spent about an hour or two on our first inspection going through everything. We're really impressed with the quality of work between all the trades with steel, with rebar, with concrete and hollow core. Some of the other trades I've even just mentioned, they've never seen such straight walls on our foundation, and just the quality and the excellence that's going into all of their work. It's just incredible ownership to see here and making our site such a priority to get things done right.
That's awesome. John, thank you so much for the update. And again, you can find all the latest information, all the video updates and more at build.springs.ca.
Hey church family, me and Michael are back here to give you an update on the money situation when it comes to this amazing Build the Future campaign. How are you doing, Mike?
I'm doing awesome. How are you?
It's good to be back on camera with you. Let's update them with pledges. I think everyone knows that number of pledges. We've shared that before.
Yeah, we have $7.4 million in pledges that came in, and that was 722 giving units that pledged.
Nice, and giving units could mean families that have however the pledges came in.
Yeah, sometimes there was actually a wife that pledged and a husband that pledged, so that would count as 2 giving units that way.
Okay,
but
awesome.
but sometimes people pledge as a family, and that would be just 1 giving unit in that case.
We're ahead of that schedule though, of what the pledges have come in and how much money has already come in, right? Because how much money has come in?
Yeah, I just looked today and we're at about $2.8 million, and we are not even through November.
Great.
And so we know that giving in November and December always ramp up as people top up their year-end giving. So I'm pretty confident we're going to be well over 3 million, maybe even half the pledges will have come in by the end of the year.
And we were talking about also the amount of pledges, the percentage of the people who've given pledges versus haven't given pledges. There's quite a percentage there of people that didn't pledge but have already gave quite a bit towards this as well.
Yeah,
I think you said 20 or 25%.
Of all the money that came in, the quick analysis I did showed that the money that came in from 77% of that money came in from people who had pledged.
Awesome.
So yeah, that leaves 23% from unpledged money.
Great. And I think that's really cool because we were also talking about the last campaign that we did, and it was for Calgary. We've already done almost double, give or take, of what we pledged for that.
Yeah, I think at the end we'll be double. Right now we're probably tracking at 50% over that. And
awesome.
Yeah, and then the pledge is obviously much more, which is awesome.
I know Calgary is probably the next thing we want to figure out for Springs Christian Academy as well. And this is all helping these things so we can continue the Christian education across Canada. We were talking about it earlier too, and there's quite the talk around town right now. We've heard from our guys on site about us GCing, general contracting our own build.
Everybody that I talk to, we're going good on you guys.
Yeah.
Because basically, by taking this on, it says 2 things. We've got the skills on the team to do it, number 1. And number 2, we're saving about a minimum of $4 million by taking this on ourselves. So if you wanted to add another $4 million to the budget to pay somebody else to project manage it, well, you could, but we've also found that you care about your project more than anyone else does.
That's true.
So this isn't just about money. It's about, you know what, we want to make sure this is done right, make sure that it involves us, has our way of doing it. And so I think it's working out really well.
Another thing that I heard as well was that most of these builds can get up to $600 a square foot, which throws your budget completely out the window. But with our school, with our church, with Build the Future, we've actually kept that substantially lower, haven't we?
Yeah, the last numbers I calculated are just around $350 a square foot. And so that means that we're gonna come in around 50 million bucks on this build.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about that because we're keeping the number low. God's got a plan, we've got a plan, and we're executing the plan.
As times have been tough for everyone, building materials have changed since that first budget. A lot of different things have happened, but God's still seeing us through. The fact that we're at 350, give or take, a square foot, like that's amazing. $350 a square foot. That's a phenomenal number.
And as we developed the building, we knew we needed to add some square footage here, some square footage here. We wanted to make sure that it worked for both the church and the school. Mm-hmm. And so as we came out with the final drawings, we're going, ooh, that's a little bit more. We added about 8,000 square feet to the original plan to make sure that it worked. And so yeah, that's gonna increase the number a bit, but you know what, again, I'm excited about $350 a square foot compared to $600 a square foot. I'm pretty pumped.
And obviously what John just said just before us too, they said that they've never seen a straighter foundation. Someone made the comment, which is it's awesome. These are all tiny little things. We could almost make a book already of the miracles that we've seen in our church, as well as through the trade companies that say we've saved money here, we've saved money here, we've saved money here, which is beautiful.
100%. Well, and when I heard that story about the foundation, I actually almost cried because, I don't know, there's a little double meaning there.
Yep.
We do have a true foundation.
Yep.
It's Christ. And the fact that we've got people that care about this project enough to make that foundation straight, and the fact that we've got people on the team to help ensure that foundation straight. I don't know, for me, that double meaning is so powerful. It really is.
You were telling me a story, and we've both heard multiple stories like this, but you told me a story about someone who was pledging but felt like he didn't pledge enough. Why don't you maybe share that?
Yeah, I talked to somebody on Sunday, and they kind of admitted saying, you know what, they felt that God wanted them to do more, but you know, they talked to their spouse and they came up with the lower number. And we always joked over the years, it's always the higher number that's God, you know?
Yeah.
And so this person said, yeah, well, they went with the lower number, and then, I don't know if it was a couple of months into the pledging stuff and into the giving campaign, and they said to their spouse, you know what, I just feel we need to do this other number.
Yeah.
And they said, okay, let's do it. And so they increased their pledge, and only to find out then their boss calls them up and gives them a raise that's large enough to cover that. And to the point where their raise is what's making them gulp, in the sense of they're questioning their boss of, are you sure what, like, but they just, at the end, it was just the faithfulness of God that you can't outgive him.
You can't.
When you're faithful and you're obedient to what he's calling you to do, he's gonna take care of you.
Yep.
And so it was a really cool story, and I could just hear the passion coming out of him as he goes, I'll never do that again.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna listen to God next time, kind of idea. So yeah.
Generosity changes families, it changes churches, it changes everything that we do when people choose to be generous. And I guess as we wrap up here, I just really want to ask all of you in church, whether you're on the side that hasn't given towards this yet, to put numbers in perspective, we could do, if you get a coffee every day, whether it's a $3 coffee or you go to the more expensive coffee places that are like a $6 coffee, if you forgo that for 1 month every day and you give that $6 to church, if 1,000 of you did that towards this build, that would be $6,000 a day of just giving $6 a day. That is it. And that's on the bottom end of things. Many of you can do much more. I had countless conversations with people in the halls that say they have people in their business circles that could write a check to cover the entire amount today. I personally don't have connections with those people that you guys do. Go talk to those people that you have in your lives that they could give towards something that's gonna change Canada, and maybe use the verbiage of, this is a beacon for other Christian organizations that in some of the hardest spots of inflation right now and people struggling, we're building this school because we know what it's gonna do against the gates of hell and our next generation of kids and families. It's going to change the world. I promise you that. So be believing, be praying, and realize that even small amounts, like a coffee a day, that you can do for a month, a year, 2 years, whatever it is you can figure out in your budget, is such a massive help to what we're going to continue to do here at Springs Church. Know that we love you, we're excited, and we're gonna see this under budget, we're gonna see this ahead of schedule, and we will see this debt-free.